And up next, we got Claudio Silva fighting Court McGee. Claudio coming in here with a 14-2 record, 38 years old, 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. The comeback for Court, he's 19-10, 36 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. So he's going to have about a 4.5-inch reach advantage. Court coming in here with a three fight losing streak. His last loss was against Carlos Condit, in which, he showed big balls by surviving. Man, he got rocked early and got his nose pointed in the opposite direction, whichever way he was looking, and it was just ugly, man. He showed heart to stay in there, but I actually had Court. Going into it, I thought Court was going to pretty much just, outgrind Carlos, and boy, was I wrong. Carlos went in there and showed out and showed, good movement and, caught Court off balance a few times and rocked him and kept him guessing the whole fight, and Court didn't have anything for him. The fight before that against Sean Brady, Sean Brady's a great prospect himself. That was a great fight, man. Court actually, that's part of the reason why going into the Condit fight, I thought Court would do what he failed to do. It's because in that Sean Brady fight, he actually outstruck him in the third round, and it was a close fight in my opinion, but he still lost a unanimous decision. But Sean Brady's a great up and coming prospect. So for me, Court going in there and actually taking a round off of him or outstriking him in a later round, especially, that was pretty big in my eyes, and that's where it ended pretty much, because he went in there against Carlos Condit and was just, deer in headlights. Before that, he had a split decision loss to Diego Lima. And before that, he's been taking L's and L's and L's, man. So the comeback with Claudio is a jiu-jitsu wizard, man. He is coming off a loss to James Krause, and that was a unanimous decision. I was surprised Krause couldn't get him out of there, because everybody knows that Silva is just a notorious gasser. If he doesn't get you out of there, man, it is very hard for him to make it past the second or third round. He is just pretty much a shell of himself. He would have caught some more L sooner, man. And he fights very, very infrequent. He only has his last fight was in 2020 against James Krause. Before that, his fights were in 2019, so he's very few and far between. The man's not getting any younger, and I don't know when's Father Time going to come up and show up for this man. So he could have lost to Danny Roberts back in 2009. Danny Roberts actually screamed out in pain and got the submission win for Silva. So a lot of if and what could have been, but as of late he's been winning, except his last loss to Krause. So stylistically, you would pretty much put this one at Claudio, winning that first round. And the thing with Court is he's never been subbed, so is Claudio going to go out there and do what's never been done and sub him? And it has to be in that first round, because afterwards it's just pretty much a downhill spiral for him. I don't know, man. That's a tough one to call. What do you think?
For me, with Court the Crusher coming in, fighting out of the pit, Court's just a tough dude. Always looking for the takedown. He uses his striking to close the distance and get in the clinch so he can get that double leg. He is on a 3-fight losing streak. He might be fighting for his job here. But Court also is long removed from that decision win against Robert Whitaker back in 2013. Court does have the reach advantage of the two grapplers in this fight, and usually when you get two grapplers together, it probably ends up standing, and that's where Court might be able to have the advantage and maybe out volume Claudio, especially in later rounds, like you mentioned, due to the cardio. And also for Silva, he is somewhat all around. He is a great jiu-jitsu guy. He does have some big wins on his record as well, with a split win over Edwards back in 2014. He has a submission against Danny Roberts, like you mentioned earlier. But he is almost 39 years old. He's not a very active fighter. 10 of his 14 wins are coming by submission. You mentioned that Court hasn't been subbed. And that we've been seeing a lot of those changing lately, where this guy has not ever been, and it's been happening. So,
Jamie Pickett never been knocked out.
Masvidal never been knocked out. Starched. So I mean, these things that do happen in MMA, and this is a toss-up fight as well, and I believe it's going to be a tale of tell of two fights because I think the first half of the fight's going to be Silva's advantage. Second half's going to go to Court, and it's just who's going to be able to implement their game plan. But this should be a good battle. I'm actually gonna lean towards Claudio Silva. I think he is gonna pull out the victory. Not sure if he's gonna be able to get the tap, but I just have a feeling he's gonna pull this one out. They have the odds set basically, they're even at -115 apiece. It's kind of a pick 'em here. But yeah, so we're on opposite ends, but I'm slightly going Silva.
Yeah, I mean the man doesn't really have too many submissions outside of that first round, so I mean, I'm not super confident on either side. What I would be confident in, though, would be picking a first-round submission prop for Claudio Silva and, possibly a decision prop for Court, depending on what it is. But, I mean, both of those scenarios are super live of happening. I don't see Court, while Claudio's gas, I don't see Court, putting the gas pedal on him and finishing him. Definitely don't see that happening. If Kraus couldn't do it, I don't think Court can definitely do it. So, yeah, man, or maybe a live bet. That should be maybe a good look for a live bet because Claudio, I believe, is going to dominate in that first round. And it might only be the first 3.5 minutes. Who knows? Because the man does gas. So, after that, going into that second round, you might get a good plus number on Court, and that might be a good way to hit it. That would be the best way because that way you get to see how the fight's already playing out. And if Claudio does get him out of there in the first with the submission, you avoided some bad beat there. So I honestly I don't like to go for the guy only has a knockout chance, and in this case Claudio only has a sub chance. He's not gonna win a full decision, outstrike him, and all that good stuff. So I don't like to bet on those type of fighters. So yeah, I would have to pick Court as the pure pick. But Claudio, first round sub, man, that doesn't sound bad to me. Court decision, that doesn't sound bad either. Maybe see how the weigh-ins look and, play it from there. But as far as right now, I'm not comfortable to pick either of these guys and put them in my anchor as a parlay or even a straight bet or a dog bet.
Right, I'm with you. So it looks like we're on opposite ends here. There's definitely some good prop bets that could be taken on this one, and some decent stabs to make some cash on here.